Hello, and welcome to Day 4 of the 12 Days of Modmas, which is a short series of mod showcases that may or may not be related to the holiday spirit. Today we've got the Instant Massive Structures mod, which essentially allows you to craft blocks that, when right-clicked, will form an instant structure. What a surprise! It does just what it says on the tin. So, without further ado, let us begin with our first recipe. Should be noted, though, that there are 41 recipes in total, or not 41 recipes, but 41 different instant structures in total. I will not show all of them, but I will show a good chunk of them, and some of their recipes as well. So, first up, we've got the Magic House block, which, as its name suggests, will create an instant house. Yay, instant house! Now, as you can see, oh, look at that. The house inside is much, larger than what you actually put in. You only put a few pieces of cobblestone, a few pieces of wood, and only one piece of glass, and you get way more out of it. I mean, you even get a cake, a furnace, and a variety of items in this chest, which, by the way, is in fact randomized. I've looked at this house several times, and I've gotten far better stuff. I've gotten stone pickaxes and a variety of other interesting stuff. I also got steak. Steak seems to be very common. But other than that, it's pretty cool. So, as you may have already guessed, this mod not entirely balanced, as you can technically, for just a few pieces of stone, wood, and cobblestone, you would essentially be able to constantly spawn these in, getting plenty of chests and all sorts of free loot that you wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. Anyways, the main reason why I like this is because a lot of them allows you to kind of skip out some of the very monotonous things that you have to do. It's definitely kind of a convenience type mod. I mean, the houses are, for one, very... Oh, jeez. That's not what I wanted to look at. Are very useful because if you are maybe, say, far away from your base and you want an emergency house for the night, you can, just use one of these instant structures to poof up an emergency house. Although there's no bed inside, so, can't sleep through the night, I guess. Anyways, on to the next structure. Here we have the Magic Wheat Farm block. Yay, I did it! So, as you can see, it instantly spawns a rather large farm, fully irrigated, fully tilled, and fully filled with seeds. Though, as you can see, when the mod does spawn, it will delete blocks. And when it does conflict with a specific object, as you can see, this was kind of higher up, it can kind of damage it. As you can see, all these wheat seeds did spawn, but they got messed up, and thus it didn't work perfectly. It is important to note that it will just kind of destroy any block in its path to create its object. Sometimes it will just kind of let those objects stay, and then it causes all sorts of weird-looking structure overlaps. Anyways, with that out of the way, we can now move on to the next object. Okay, back over to my Christmas tree, which is filled with no presents. I have to make all my presents myself. So, this next one is a pretty cool one. It's definitely one of the more useful ones, and time-saving wise. This is the Magic Enchantment Room, which, as its name suggests, will create a enchantment room. Haha! Boom! Whoa. So, here is the enchantment room, fully surrounded by books, and if you punch a hole through any of the sides, you will see... Oh jeez, I thought that was a creeper. You will see a enchanting table in the center. As per the usual, if there are blocks kind of standing in its way, it will delete those. Other than that, though, it won't delete it. As you can see, the snow managed to survive the spawning in. This is definitely useful. One that I would definitely consider using myself, because I hate making bookcases. Anyways, moving right along, another one that is particularly useful is this one. The, I believe it's Magic Mine? Block structure? Maybe? Hello? There, Magic Cave block. Look, I can't remember these names off the top of my head. I have the memory of a goldfish. Anyways, this one's very useful, especially if you're trying to get down to diamond level without just digging your own hole. You will notice that this one, when placed down, will not actually create a mine, but will instead create its own personal mine shaft. Ooh, that doesn't look quite right. It should be noted that, you know, where you spawn it affects how it'll look. Like, since I spawned it on here, like, there's no stone that spawned in there, but if I spawn it here, it'll look correct. Anyways, let's head down this shaft. As you can see, it goes down fairly deep, destroying pretty much any block that it needs to kind of create this pathway down. Although, of course, you know, some objects are not destroyed unless you can see, you know, with the coal and all that stuff, which doesn't actually exist there, but is instead, like, instantly spawned in. Whoa, look, we managed to hit into a chasm. Oh, that's so cool. So that's, like, the main purpose of it, is it essentially, like, creates a giant staircase down a fairly deep way, and then kind of creates, allows you to kind of instantly get to all the goodies, like gold and lapis and diamond, but not really lapis. Anyways, let us head back up and take a look at another structure. So then, most of the structures that I've shown thus far have been fairly practical in their applications. Houses, caves, and enchantment rooms, all very useful, like, for everyday uses. The next one, however, which is quite a funny looking one, doesn't serve any real practical use. Unless, I don't know, you need, like, some, like, you need to expand your source of water. That's the only real use I can think of it. No, this one is mostly useless, as it spawns in, as its name suggests, a giant water slide. Look at this. This is literally, oh, look at the snow, how annoying. This is literally a water slide. It does nothing. It is not practical in any way. It literally is just a water slide. Let's go down. Whee! Whoa, so much fun. I'm having so much fun. You know, maybe it would be better with a boat. So let's try that instead. Boat. Into the boat. Here we go. Activate fun. Whoa, that is way faster. Whoa, sploosh. Yay. Much fun indeed. So, that is the water slide. One of the less useful but definitely more unique structures that is available to you in this mod. Not sure if I mentioned it before, I think I did, although I have like a 5-second memory. There is a total of 41 structures, some of which are more useful than others. For example, this storehouse one is definitely probably, that's an oxymoron, is definitely one of the more, how do you put it? Overpowered? Overpowered? Is that what you would call it? Overpowered? Definitely one of the more overpowered structures, is the magic storehouse. Because when you summon it, it spawns in essentially a storehouse with its own furnace and crafting table and a bunch of chests. And you'd be like, oh, there's not that much that's overpowered about chests. Well, you'd be correct, except for the fact that every chest is filled with what seems to be, well, actually not randomized loot, because that was exactly the same last time. But it does, you know, spawn in a large variety of different loots. We've got apples, slimes, bones, ink sacs, signs, blaze rods, music discs, jukeboxes, TNT, that's dangerous, and ender pearls, ender pearls, that makes sense. Melons, as you can see. Definitely a bit of an overpowered room, especially since this one is craftable in survival mode. Should be noted that not all are craftable in survival mode. All the ones I've shown thus far, though, are. Including this one! Magic house block! Boom! So there are quite a few different houses. The guy who made this mod in particular does not seem to be the... Oh my gosh. Oh no! I fell in the chimney! I'm burning! I am Santa Claus, so that is entirely appropriate. Ha! There's my thematic link! I'm Santa Claus going down a chimney. Choo-choo. I don't think Santa Claus says choo-choo when he goes down a chimney, in case you were wondering. Oh, it's a little tree. It's so cute. It's very cute. So, what was I saying? Right, so this guy is definitely, creates a lot of very interesting structures. This isn't the only instant structure mod out there. This one seems to focus on a weird, like, variety of different type things, whereas a lot of the structure packs that I've seen seem to focus mainly on creating elaborate looking houses, which is cool if you don't want to make your own house and you just want to put someone else's house down. But, you know, this one I chose over, like, other ones. It's more for the practical uses, such as this amazing mineshaft. Anyways, moving right along, we're now going to take a look at the variety of more unique type ones, especially the larger ones as well. Let's go! Next up, the magic air balloon, which is quite interesting in the sense that when you put it down, it spawns directly above it. Not directly above it, but like well above where you place it. That's definitely one of the major complaints I have for this mod, is that the variety of different things that you can spawn in don't seem to be consistent with where they will spawn in. Some will spawn really close by, some will spawn on you. For example, this magic treehouse. Spawn on me! Oh no, I've been spawned on. That's so gross. And you know, some will spawn really high above it. But apart from that, very cool. Anyways, like I was saying, this is the treehouse, which is essentially just a really large tree, which you can actually get in here. And you can see that it's completely empty, ready for you to stick your torches. 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 Torches on, and other various things that you would put in a treehouse, I guess. Next, the magic haunted house. Whoa, I have spawned inside the magic haunted house. That was unexpected. With a variety of chests and loot for you to loot. For example, soul sand. Ew, gross. So, this is definitely one of the cooler structures that... Oh no, I've been caught in a spiderweb. This is definitely one of the, like, more dungeon-y type structures that can be spawned in. While some are more for practical use, these are kind of more for, like, spawn in your own adventure kind of thing, because they all have kind of unique loots and stuff. I don't even know what that is. Maybe that's a toilet. This is sewer. I don't know. It's pot plants. Because all of them have some, you know, cool stuff. They've all got spider webs. It's dark enough that mobs would spawn in here if I wasn't on peaceful. And there's all sorts of loot like that gold ore at the top. And this bed made of solid redstone. Man, whoever was living here was pretty rich. Anywho, moving on. One of the prettiest structures, in my opinion, is this one. Hello? There it is. As I said before, these things can kind of spawn in a really weird spot away from you. The magic castle tower. Kind of mumbled that. The magic castle tower. There is no ground because it didn't spawn on any ground, which is a bit of a shame. But as you can see, it's got this lovely spiral staircase, and it's got some kind of spokes that come off it. Ooh, jeez. Oh, and I'm stuck. Kind of some spoked rooms on the sides. No loot in this one, actually, which is quite the surprising thing to get out. No loot, just the spokes, which have a single crafting table in each of them. But still, this one's definitely one of the prettier looking ones. Definitely a cool house to spawn and live in case of an emergency, especially if you're like a mage or something, I don't know. Anyways, speaking of homes, we now have two different types of magic houses, which would probably be more accurately described as magic apartment buildings. Because my god, these things are huge and totally meant for more than one person. Boom! There it is. Look at this. This is totally a magic apartment building. Not a magic house like its name would suggest. As you can see, it's got its own farm, and then it's got a bunch of floors. 1, 2, 3, and an attic. Oh no, that's 4, and that's the attic. The attic's up here. So again, this one's pretty cool. The inside is completely empty, unlike most of the magic houses. Which I don't know why they've decided to do that, but it's true. It's just how that is. These are completely empty floors. They are lit though, which is fun. And they're also quite nice. So I guess if you were maybe trying to create your own city, you could very quickly create it with the variety of magic houses that we have available. Speaking of magic houses, let's move on to the next magic house. Boom! Here we go. Once again, very much like an apartment building. Plenty of floors for you to stick your stuff in. Garden out the front, or out the back. I believe that's technically the front, and that's the back. So yes, garden out the back, entrance in the front, which is how entrances and gardens usually go. And then of course it's got an attic. Very big, very spacious, but there's nothing inside. Oh no. And like all the houses that you spawn in, they can only ever spawn in one direction. No, not the band. You know, you can never have the houses flipped in a different direction, at least as far as I'm aware. I have tried my dandiest to get them to flip, but they won't flip. Anyways, moving on to the next house. So, next up we've got a magic roller coaster. That's fun. Who doesn't like roller coasters? Everyone loves roller coasters. Boom! Voila. So, here we have a rather simple roller coaster. It has the whole tracks, it's powered, and that's pretty much it. Fairly simple, not much of exciting happening here. Unless, of course, you spawn in the other magic roller coaster. Fortunately, they're named the exact same thing. The only way you can tell they're different is that this one's slightly shinier. So, this one is much bigger and also fairly laggy for whatever reason. I can't figure out why. All the other structures are fine, but not this one. Behold, the giant magic roller coaster. Boom! So this structure is huge. It's also a bit laggy. I say that, it doesn't seem to be lagging right now. It's mocking me. All the other structures that are really large don't seem to lag. I imagine it's due to the large number of fence posts that exist in this space. Perhaps that is what's causing it? I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a giant roller coaster. Definitely more exciting than that tiny little poopy roller coaster over there. Look at that. It's crying in the background because it's nowhere near as cool as this one. I would take a ride on it, but it has a habit of being very laggy and gives me nausea. So unless you have a really good computer, you might not be able to spawn this in properly. Except for right now, because it seems to be doing fine. It's not even... Look at this. Look, it's not even... It's mocking me! I was just like, oh, the frame rate's not very good. And now it's not. Now its frame rate is perfectly fine. Well, fine. I will prove to you by spawning in a minecart and going on this roller coaster. And then you will see what I mean. You'll all see. Go. Whee! Fine. Oh no! Oh, whoa. I don't want to fall. I don't like picking up redstone torches. That is very nerve-wracking if you're on a roller coaster and you're just like, oh look, I found a piece of the roller coaster. Not good. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then we go up. Turn. Oh my god. Cinematic view. Whoa. Oh my keys. Oh my god, I'm getting dizzy! Well, this is actually oddly pleasant. Last time I spawned this in, it was incredibly laggy, but this time it's actually enjoyable. Whee! Ooh! Whee! That sense of excitement you can only get in Minecraft. Anyways, so that was the giant roller coaster, which for whatever reason is not lagging out. It's making fun of me. Most of the times when I spawn this in, the frame rate drops ridiculously. Although it seems to be fine now, for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. Anyways, on to the next structure. Now, this next structure is way bigger than the roller coaster, but for whatever reason, nowhere near as laggy. Sometimes. I don't know about that roller coaster ride. Sometimes the thing's lagging, sometimes it's not. This structure is huge. It's not joking when it calls it a mega tower, because this tower literally cannot be any more mega. Boom! Also, it causes a bit of freezing when you spawn it in because it is really big. Behold the mega tower! This tower is most certainly mega. It is clearly a modern designed building and is very, very big. In fact, it's too big. Like, objectively too big, because this structure, it actually goes above the world height. Depending on where you put it, it will go well over the world height, or maybe just a little bit over the world height. But if you're standing at basically, you know, sea level, it's going to go over the world height, I think, maybe. We will soon see. Yep, as you can see, height limit for building is 256 blocks. Whoa, everything got dark all of a sudden. Spooky. Whoa, everything's dark, so spooky. And then everything's fine. So yeah, this structure has a habit of being just slightly bigger than the world height. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if actually it just keeps going and then just gets cut off because of the world height, or whether it actually just always seems to be. Because it always seems to be just one bigger no matter where I put it, which is suspicious. In fact, I'm going to double check that. I'm going to put another one significantly lower down and see if it goes up to the same height. Nope, this one is totally taller. So as you can see, this one actually does get cut off because it's so huge. But that does actually seem to be the definitive top height. I went much further down into the ground. So this building is in fact larger, like it is literally larger than possible because it can go one higher than the world build height. Truly a mega tower. Like quite literally. It could not be any bigger, no matter how hard you try because of the world height limit. Anyways, that's the mega tower. Let's move on! So, this next one is completely obscure and seems to have no use whatsoever. This is the Megasphere, which I'm going to place down daintily right here. Now, this Megasphere seems to have two different versions that will spawn in. The first version is this one, which as you can see is left me in complete darkness. This is in fact, if I can get to the top, if I can ever get to the top. Hello? I need a torch. I can't see anything. Whoa. There we go. This is one version of it. Sometimes it will spawn as a giant sphere of dirt, which is how it has spawned now, with a variety of different minerals. As you can see, we've got some emerald ore and some coal, and there's definitely some gold and redstone in here as well. So I guess it would be cool for mining. That's one use. Although it doesn't always spawn as a giant earth block. Sometimes it will spawn instead as... Aha! It did it! It'll spawn as this, a giant block, or a giant sphere of water. I have yet to figure out what actually makes it dirt and what makes it water, but that seems to be how it works. You've either got a dirt or a water sphere. Definitely the least useful, I would imagine, out of all of them. I mean, these could be really cool, like for making a city. I'm not sure what you would use a giant glass sphere of water and or dirt for. But it's there if you so desire it. So, we now have two more. The Magic Stadium block and the Magic Huge Pyramid block. So, first up we're going to take a look at the Magic Huge Pyramid. Here we go, Magic Huge Pyramid. It is quite a huge pyramid and is actually one of the coolest ones that have been added. Unlike most of the other structures, which are mainly like if you're trying to build a city or something, the Magic Huge Pyramid is actually a dungeon. A dungeon that can be explored and is definitely much more difficult than your average... Oh, look, some dirt's showing up. Your average, dungeon that you would find in vanilla Minecraft. As you can see, we've got lava traps, we've got mazes that you will get lost in for forever. Believe me, I've tried, and I get lost every single freaking time, so I just end up digging holes in it in my frustration. But yes, if you're trying to get through these puzzles legitimately, although I don't think anyone does. I mean, how many people actually try to go through those jungle dungeons legitimately? The answer is 0. But so as you can see, we've kind of got this, the pyramid here. It's got a variety of different floors with a variety of different challenges. You've got the basic pyramid challenge, and if we can show up at a higher floor, whoa. We've got this thing, another kind of parkour challenge, which is actually doable, unlike that first one, which I believe is actually completely impossible to do. We've also got some other kind of jumping puzzles, as you can see here. We've got more jumps, and all sorts of, so it's kind of a combination of mazes and puzzles, which is pretty cool. And of course, like any good dungeon, if you manage to get to the end, or you know, dig in from the very top, you will be met with a variety of rewards, including gold blocks, lapis lazuli or lazuli blocks, diamond blocks, iron blocks, jukeboxes, and stone slabs. So, definitely one of the cooler ones. If you're kind of itching to go through a Minecraft dungeon, you could just spawn one in with this mod. Now then, now that we've covered pretty much all of them, we've got one final one. The Magic Stadium block. Now this one is much larger than any of the others, not as tall as the Mega Tower, but definitely very large. So large in fact, that when you try and put it down, it will warn you that if you try and spawn it, it will take at least 5 minutes before it spawns. So then, let's go find a nice spot to put this giant stadium down, and spawn it in. And now it's going to warn me about the spawn time. Beep. Spawning this structure will take an average of 5 minutes. Click again if you want it to spawn. And now I've clicked it, and now it's going to take 5 minutes to spawn. I'm going to make myself lunch. Alright, here it comes. As you can see, it is now generating 11 out of 51. Doesn't tell me what it's generating out of, but it is definitely generating, and as you can see over here, in the land of lag, it is creating a gigantic stadium. Let us fly up and take a look, shall we? Ooh. As you can see, it's actually not finished. This is actually only half its size. Oh no, there's the other half of it. Now let's go take a look inside. Ooh. So, this is definitely one of the largest structures. As you can see, it's the only one that actually warns you that it's going to freeze your game for 5 minutes. And now we can go inside and we can take a look and see what the stadium looks like. Oh, very pretty. As you can see, some of the chunks still loading, but for the most part it is done. Totally will spawn mobs in here though, not bright enough for that, but very cool looking. Definitely good if you just for some whatever reason want to have a soccer field out with you for whatever reason. As you can see, this is very clever. Look at this, using spiderwebs as nets. Very clever. Of course, like all the structures, which is a bit of a problem if you're spawning not in a flatland biome or whatever. If you're spawning in an area where there's mountains or something, you'll end up getting a bit of this problem, where the original mountains that were there will end up showing up in this grass field zone. Let's look at this. There's this little shrub here. Shrub. But still, very cool. Definitely one of the most impressive structures they have here. Let's see if there's anything inside. You can go in here. Hopefully this isn't the girls' locker room. Ooh! I don't think there is male and female locker rooms. It's just the separate teams, I assume. There's team home and team away. That's not the name of the teams. I know that. Don't tell me. But yeah, as you can see, a very, very impressive, slightly glitching out over there, a very, very impressive structure over here. Definitely one of the biggest structures that they've got. And the most intensive on the spawniness. Anyways, that is the final structure that I intended to show you. So that is the end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe, but not necessarily in that order. And next time, day 5 of the 12 days of Modmas. Goodbye!